Hi, it's Georgia State Senator Elena Parent. Governor Kemp has announced the easing of some of the restrictions in his shelter in place order as of Friday, April 24th, 3 days from now. Nail salons, massage therapists, physical therapists, gyms, bowling alleys, barbershops, hair salons can all resume operation with some minimum standards as far as social distancing. And on Monday, April 27th, movie theaters and restaurants can reopen as well as private clubs. Frankly, I'm really stunned by this announcement. I knew that the governor was going to make an announcement with regard to his thinking about reopening the state, but this goes way beyond what I ever expected in terms of the speed with which he's lifting restrictions. As a matter of fact, the shelter-in-place order is still in effect through April 30th. So I assumed that he would extend that for at least a few more weeks. There was a change in one of the influential models predicting peaks, the University of Washington's IHME model, that what had been saying we were going to peak around early May, and then suggested that we had actually peaked a little while ago, which is fantastic news. But that same website still suggests that we would only be able to start reopening things as of June 15th. And right now we still have hundreds of new infections a day and dozens of deaths a day. So I didn't expect him to wait until June 15th by any means, but I thought there was no way it would be before May 15th. I think the decision is not a good one. I think it's irresponsible. I think we have more work to do. So I would encourage all of my constituents to still stay home, at least for a few more weeks. I would also encourage you to report businesses, if you do see them, that are not following the mandates that are in the governor's executive order about how they can, quote unquote, safely reopen. There's been some commentary that people feel that one of the drivers of this decision is the fact that the unemployment claims in Georgia, like they have everywhere, have absolutely skyrocketed and are approaching 1 million. And that if businesses can reopen, then these employees no longer are eligible to claim unemployment, even if, they still have kids that are at home because schools are still out. And even if they don't feel safe, which wouldn't really be illogical given the current state of affairs with our infection rates. I don't want to comment on that because I don't yet have enough information. I certainly hope that's not the case, but I can say that from a healthcare perspective, I think this decision is way too fast and probably risks us entering another spike, which would mean that we would have to pull back again. If this causes us to have to go back and do a shutdown when we should have just stayed in through the end of May, I am going to be so livid. But of course, not as livid as those who have already lost loved ones and may because of this irresponsible decision. I would feel slightly better if the governor had mandated mask wearing in public or in these businesses, but he didn't even do that. So, however, my mask has arrived that I ordered, and I've been wearing it. Very lovely and stylish. I encourage you to reach out to Governor Kemp's office if you feel that this decision is too much too soon and dangerous. He did indicate that he obviously has the ability to pull back on this. The other point I want to make is it really is only safe to reopen when you have the testing and contact tracing in place to manage the outbreak. And we just don't have that. As the governor has acknowledged, our testing has lagged far behind some other states. But the word that he had at his press conference was, yes, we're still only 43rd or 45th, but what you need to look at is how quickly we improved over the past week when we were the 28th fastest state as far as our improvements. I don't know why he thinks being 28th is impressive at all, because I certainly don't. And meanwhile, both red and blue state governors are making it very clear over the last few days. And the White House ended up being forced to acknowledge that the reagents and swabs are just not there to test safely. So we just don't have the building blocks in place to reopen safely at this time, even if our numbers had come down far below where they are right now. The governor says that the dental school at Augusta will begin 3D printing swabs, and they have opened the temporary facility at the Georgia World Congress Center. So we do have a few steps in place, but until we need like an actual plan about testing and contact tracing. And we definitely have not heard any of that. And I encourage all of you that until you hear an actual plan and see some actual guidelines and a plan for testing and contact tracing and enforcement, that you be extremely cautious about going out and don't risk our healthcare workers and don't risk your loved ones. Thanks.